Hi friends, it's Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a review for you guys on the newest ink from Gina K Designs, the newest black ink I should say. This is the Amalgam ink, and it is supposed to be good for any type of medium such as your watercolor or any type of watercoloring or alcohol-based markers, or even if you use GAMSOL for your colored pencils. So I thought I would go ahead and give this a go for you guys today, just to show you this ink in action. A lot of you requested that I go ahead and do this review, so that's what I have for you today. So hopefully I cover all the areas that you are wondering about on this ink. So let's go ahead and get started with the review. Okay, so first up, what I have is two pieces of just small scraps of different types of paper here. This is just some watercolor paper. It's kind of textured, as you can see there. So I've got some watercolor paper, and what I'm going to be using the watercolor paper for, obviously to watercolor, but I'm also going to use my colored pencil on it and some GAMSOL. And the reason why I'm using watercolor paper is because I have recently learned that it is a good idea to use some type of watercolor paper when you're using any type of a solvent, when you are using your watercolor or your any type of colored pencils. So I thought I would go ahead and give that a try for you guys today as well. Then I just have a piece of just regular white cardstock that I have, and I'm just going to stamp that out and then use my Copic marker that I have chosen to use it for this demonstration today. So I wanted to go ahead and stamp this for you in live time here, because I could have easily just gone ahead and stamped out the images and be ready to go, but I wanted you to go ahead and see how great this ink stamps on its own. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in just a little bit so you can get a little bit of a better view of what I'm doing. And I just got my craft mat here just to work on my surface and not try to get my surface too inky. So let's go ahead and take the ink, and I've just got a flower image here. This flower image, if you're wondering, comes from the Avery Elle Floral Bouquet stamp set, and it's this image right here. And I like it because this would be a good demonstration because it's, you know, well detailed. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this out, and you can see that it's, you know, it's pretty good and black. I've used this ink a few times now, and I can tell you that it stamps out really nicely. So you can see how crisp black it is. It's absolutely a great ink. So let me go ahead and stamp out two other images on the watercolor piece that I have. And you can see that I'm getting a really great stamped image even on textured watercolor paper. I wanted to point that out. So you definitely don't need to use a stamping tool or whatever to get a great impression of with this ink. So just to kind of look at the ink pad itself, if you can kind of see, hopefully I can get some pretty good lighting for you guys so you can see. But this ink pad represents kind of a same comparison to me as the VersaFine Onyx Black ink as far as the pad itself. You can get the full size of this ink, but I opted to go ahead and get the smaller ink pad because I have a lot of other different types of black ink, and I just thought since she was going to go ahead and offer it in the little mini ink cube that this would be perfect for me to try out, and it doesn't take up as much room, you know, in my craft space. But it is a felt pad, not a felt pad, it's yeah, it's kind of textured, but it's a little bit of a firm pad. It's not squishy or anything at all, so whenever you're stamping with it, it gives a really good area to cover your stamp, and it does cover your stamp really well, so I like that about it. So I'm going to set my stamp aside here in the ink cube beside, and I'm going to first start off with the alcohol base marker, which I have Copic here, but you can use any alcohol base marker that you have. And I'm just going to do one side, just kind of scribbling across it so you can see if there's any fading or smudging or anything like that. And then I'm going to go in and on the other half and just kind of purposely color it, you know, in a good manner, if you will. So this first side here, I'm just kind of going to draw a line here so you can see. But I'm just going to scribble on the color here. And there is no smudging or smearing or anything with this ink. It is just crisp as the time that you stamped it. It doesn't smear at all. And you can probably go ahead, and I know that we're talking a little bit here, but as far as once you stamp down, you can immediately go in and do your coloring. You don't necessarily have to wait for this to dry in order to start coloring. So I'm going to go in and just really purposely color this image here on this side. Obviously, I'm not going to do any fancy shading or anything like that. I'm just doing the coloring for the purpose of the video and the review. But it stays really true to the black. It does, like I said, it doesn't smear or smudge. And you can see how well that looks there. Really nice. I really do like it so far. So that is the alcohol based marker test. Next I'm going to go in with a watercolor. And for the watercolor, I'm going to use my INKTENSE pencils. These are this is a watercolor pencil, but it's water soluble, so you can use it with your watercolor. And I'm just going to go ahead and just pick a color here. And I've also got a just a little water brush here. I've got a little bit of water in the reservoir here. So I'm just going to put on some color with my colored pencil here. And I'm just going to take my water brush. Make sure it's clear. I did use this the other day, so it wasn't completely clear or anything. Make sure I got some water on there. Alright, so now I'm just going to go in and just add some water to my image, and I'm just going to go all around the flower here. And these pencils, they have a lot of pigment to them, so you can spread out the color and make it lighter or whatever. So I'm just going to kind of go outside the lines just a little bit on purpose so you can see that it doesn't smudge with the water either. So I'll kind of hold this up close there and kind of tilt it in the light. But you can see there's no smudging with the water. Absolutely beautiful. And I just love how you can watercolor with those pencils too, because it makes it easy. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and go in with my colored pencil, my actual just regular colored pencil. This is a Prismacolor colored pencil. And I'm just going to go in and on where these lines are, where the texture is of the flower, I'm just going to go in really heavily right here on purpose, because that's where I'm going to do my blending with my GAMSOL. Okay, so now with that, I'm going to take I've got a paper stump and my GAMSOL. I'm just going to put some GAMSOL onto my paper stump here, so you can see it got GAMSOL on there. And I'm just going to go in and just kind of blend out my color here. And there again, it does not smudge or smear. And it takes that GAMSOL really well. Just going to continue to blend this out here. Alright, so now I'm going to hold this one up, and you can see in the light here that it does not smear or smudge. So it's just as crisp and black as it was whenever I stamped it down. Very, very nice. I like it. And of course it blends out the flower nicely too with the GAMSOL. Of course my paper is textured. Keep that in mind too, because you see it looks like it's kind of splotchy here, but that's just because my whenever you color with color pencils, you're continually filling in fibers of your paper. So I'm not trying to do a really nice blend on purpose or anything. I'm just showing you how it does not smear with the black ink. So there we go, guys. That's a comparison of all three of the different mediums. Of course, you can just go ahead and regularly stamp with this ink if you wanted to stamp it with, like with your sentiments and such like that, or obviously stamp it down with, use it for a really nice crisp bold black ink for your critter stamps. That would be a great ink to use it, but I was wanting to show you guys whenever you use this ink, if you wanted to use it with any type of alcohol-based marker or watercolor with it, or even use it with your colored pencils and GAMSOL if you use GAMSOL to blend out your pencils. So it's a really great ink. I highly recommend it, and I will probably be using this ink, more often now that I know that you can definitely use it with all three of these types of mediums. I hope that gives you a better idea of this ink and a look into how you can use it and how well it stamps out. Like I said, I really do highly recommend it. And if you are interested, like I said, there is a full-size ink pad, but there's also one that that you can obviously get the ink cube like I did. And just so you know, this video is not sponsored. I just want to put that out there. I just know a lot of you guys wanted me to go ahead and do the review since I asked you on one of my previous videos. So I hope that helps you out, guys. I hope that was a great look into the ink itself. If you have any additional questions or comments, please leave below, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.